I'd just like to say thank you so much for everybody, and Martin's going to thank everybody at the end, but we're glad everybody's here today. What a beautiful Sunday it is to celebrate the 25 years of service that Lydia has offered to Aldersgate in so many capacities. And those capacities are represented by the many hats that Lydia has worn for 25 years here. So the way we're going to tell our stories is I want people to just be on deck to come up and talk about the hats, the roles that Lydia has played. Okay? And we're going to start it off with Brittany, our Minister of Children.
Hi, friends. It is so nice to see all of you here. Thank you for coming to celebrate what we call Lydia Day. She doesn't like it, but we do. So, Belinda, along with lots of others, have collected a variety of hats to represent all the different things Lydia has done over the years. Now, we're not going to make her wear all of them. Her wear one. And I have the great honor of giving her a well-earned tiara. So, it is with great honor that I get to crown you Lydia for Lydia Day. Yeah. Let's see, I have the privilege, I've been working with Lydia for 3 years now, and we are the only coworkers who work upstairs. So we have our own little bubble upstairs, and we're very happy there. We are very similar. It only took me a couple weeks to realize that we have almost the same brain. And it's lovely. So we just get to be upstairs in our little world, and we love to plan things in great detail, and we're just very happy upstairs. So I just want to take a minute and say thank you to Lydia for our time together. I am thankful I get to call her my friend, not just my coworker, and for being a mentor to me the last 3 years. So another round of applause as we keep going with all the other hats. Who is next would like to come explain one of these lovely hats? No, Matt, it is on. He knows how to turn it back on, so it's not even worth turning off.
Okay, so I have the privilege of calling Lydia my friend for 24 of the 25 years she's been here. Now, I can't tell you exactly when I met Lydia. Rob Locke was on my U6 T-ball team, okay? And the thing I remember most is this young man right here was throwing a temper tantrum inside the vehicle, and Lydia was calmly standing outside waiting for him to blow off steam. Calmly. That has been the hallmark of Lydia's tenure here. When everything is falling apart, Lydia is calm. If Lydia ever starts to panic, we should all run for the hills. Seriously, Lydia has, you may have heard me say this, that Lydia has been the heart and soul of this church. When we have been through chaos, when we have been through troubled times, Lydia has been here as a rock, okay? It is my privilege to call you my friend. And I thank you for being here through everything. Rob Locke and Christopher McCollum are now 29 years old, thanks to the fact that we are friends and we prevented each other from killing them when they were younger. She has been a mentor to my children. When my daughter got married here, she was adamant that Lydia had to be part of the ceremony. But one of the things that I'm reminded of, and when you go to Acts, and I think it's Acts chapter 16, we are introduced to a lady named Lydia. And what does it say? Anybody? Come on, Will. What does it say? Okay, she was instrumental in the church, but the first introduction is she was a worshiper of God, and that is what this lady has been, and because of that, she has served this church graciously and continuously for 25 years. So I am very grateful. All right, I'm going to shut up.
Next. Let's keep it rolling. Who's up? Who's got a hat they want to talk about or a story? Aha, Martin.
Hello. I'm going to try not to cry, but it's going to happen, and that's okay. Lydia was my backdoor neighbor when... Yeah? Is that right? Can I talk? Can Mommy have a turn? No? Thank you. Hey, it's Mom's turn. Daddy, thank you. Oh my goodness. I did the math the other day, and I am 2 years younger than you were when you met me. Wow. And that's very eye-opening. It is wild to think. How do you say thank you to someone who's made you the person that you are today? For being my confidant after the UAH shooting, and I just didn't know how to handle that. She was there when my mom couldn't be in other ways, and just like my mom was there for her boys, and it takes a village, and Lydia is the head of my village. If we had a daughter, we would have named her Lydia, which maybe that's a good thing, because I don't know if the church could handle 2 Lydias. I think it's cool that I have 2 boys, and you have 2 boys. You've taught me how to be a good mother, how to choose a good spiritual head of household, and how a good spiritual household should run. I've had the pleasure of having 2 younger brothers in the backyard, playing t-ball with Rob and Will, and Rob being so mad because Will ran to third first and not first, and he was going backwards, and that's not how you do it. And you would just tell me to go out there and deal with it because you were doing other things, and I was happy to deal with it. So lots of training for my 2 boys. So we are very thankful to have you in our lives, from our wedding to the baptism of both boys and everywhere in between. Thank you. Okay, who's next? Sweet.
Okay. Well, the first time we met Lydia was the first time we came down here. Several years ago, it probably was Lydia who dropped a load of flyers at Mountain Gap for a splash bash, or back in pre-politically correct days, it was Water Wars or something like that. Yeah. And so we were looking for a church at the time, and came wandering down here and just wandered in and back to the DC, and said, "Hey, she looked like she was in charge." So walked up and said, we picked up a flyer and we just thought we'd come down. Well, get on in here. Get yourself on in here. It was like she hadn't seen us in years, and welcomed us in, and we just felt like we were part of the whole thing. And based on that alone, I think we kept coming, and there's nothing more complex than that. But based on that, we thought we would, Thomas put together some stuff that I picked up.
Oh, this is great. Wait a minute, we're going to take the tiara off for this.
Yes.
Oh, most excellent.
I crown you.
It's Thomas?
Thomas ran out of real estate. We have a whole bag of food for you. Snorkel. Yay. And water gun. Excellent. This is all stuff you can use, right? Yeah. And something for when you get frustrated.
Oh, nice. And you can't see what's in it.
You can't see what's in it. But when you can see what's in it, You've got an icy. It's got to be frozen.
Okay.
And Dawn dishwashing liquid so everybody slips and slides appropriately. So thank you for all that you've done and all that you've done since welcoming us into the church.
Thank you.
And you want me to take your hat now?
Yes.
There's actually usable stuff under there somewhere. So careful before you throw it away. There might be something good.
Great.
The Journey class wants to tell Lydia many thanks for the service, for the leadership, for the inspiration, but really what Lydia is known best for is cooking. And so we got her a chef hat. And to go with this as a little bit of a parody on a famous movie, may the forks be with you.
Perfect. Okay.
Well, I'm Lynette, and I'm sort of representing the Agape Sunday School class. And we had the travel hat. And it only has 15 of the places we went to see. There were many more. And, yeah, now, we've been to a lot of places. The trips are usually part fun, part education. So we've been to Scottsboro Boys Museum and I had a whole list, but yeah, I could. Yeah, but also Lydia would take us on trips that she was not necessarily that thrilled with, like the Ark, if you're aware of her opinion on that one. But you also have adventures, like the tire from Dauphin Island.
Tire blue, going down the road 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, so that's for the parking cone. So we just wanted to say how much we appreciate you arranging the trips, doing all the work. And we really liked the bourbon tour. That was a good one. Yes. So thank you very much.
Okay. So I have many, many stories about Lydia, but because I've been here so long too. And okay, so when my son was younger, he had epilepsy and he suffered with seizures. And one night we were here for the thing we did on Sunday nights. I don't talk well in front of people, but Evan had a seizure while he was here, and at the time, I don't know, we were back somewhere, and so he had a seizure, and I'm here with him, with his mother, and he's just like, he only wants Lydia. Lydia, I need Lydia, where's Lydia? Miss Lydia will tell me where to go. After his seizure, he would get real tired and get nauseous and all that. And I need Miss Lydia she'll find me somewhere to lay down. So it was so sweet. Well, then a year or so later, Evan was in Birmingham having surgery for seizures. And Lydia and Will came down to see him, and I had been in the hospital for a very long time with Evan. And Lydia said, why don't you go out and walk around and get some fresh air? So I went out and walked around and got some fresh air and came, and so mind you, Evan's head is like cut open and wrapped in bandages. Yes, with wires coming out everywhere. And I walk in there, and his hospital room and his little head and everything is covered with silly string because Will and Lydia had gone crazy and made that boy laugh and cheered him up. And that was probably the best day. And I was like, oh my gosh, what just happened? So, anyways, it really meant a lot to me, and Evan really loved that. They had such a fun time with that. And then they left, and I cleaned up the silly string that was everywhere. And then my favorite Lydia story is a year or two later, I went through a really weird, hard time in my life, and I wasn't doing well, and I don't think I had got out of bed or brushed my teeth in days. I was very not in a good place. And I called Lydia. She came to my mind, and on Sunday morning at like 5 o'clock, I called her, and she didn't answer because it was like 5 o'clock, but she knew right then, and I mean within 10 minutes, she was on my front porch in my bedroom, sitting on my bed with me, and I had not brushed my teeth in a week. And she was right, she was right there with me and held my hand, and I swear I do not know what I would have done without you. I don't know if you know how much that meant to me. So.
I am Deborah Bocking, and I don't remember when I met Lydia. I've been going to church here 10 years probably at least before she came on staff. My children were teenagers, so they weren't in the youth program. But when I came here, I'd been a kindergarten teacher, teaching Drew Hummer and Patrick Sykes were two of the boys that were in my class, and a bunch of other girls. So I'd been a kindergarten teacher, and I worshipped here with my daughters. My husband's Catholic, so I thought, I really want to meet adults. So I'd gone on to adult Sunday school class. But sometime during that time, Lydia came to me and said, let me find her hat. This is her children's ministry hat, and it has all the children on it, a lot of children on it that she has mentored, and the Easter egg hunts and the vacation Bible school and just Sunday school and stuff. But she came to me and she said, we have a teacher that needs somebody else with her, 4th grade. So I thought, well, I'm getting promoted. Been in adult class for a little while. From kindergarten, I'm going up to 4th grade. And I taught there for quite a few years. And then she came to me while I was in 4th grade and said, I need you to help. And this happens to do with another hat, this one. When she had changed to discipleship, help start the M&M class. Because I don't have a husband that worships with me, and there's other women in the church, same situation. Or husbands just don't attend church at all. So she got me doing that. But Vacation Bible School, she recruited me for that when I was... and then helping her, and then I co-led with another teacher. We did that. I think I did 3 or 4 Vacation Bible Schools. And when I was a 4th grade teacher, Claudia Newton and I were team teaching, and we had to move to a different classroom, and it was under the eaves, end of the hall, ugly as can be, needed painted. So I asked Lydia, can I paint the room? So we painted the walls, and I said, can I paint the walls? And painted a mural on one of the walls. And the disciple class met in that room and loved it. And so Lydia said, I want to start painting more rooms. So I did more rooms, did the hallways and stuff. So she's good at recruiting me to get to do stuff all these years. And she knows I'm crafty. And so she has come to me over the years last time and said, what do you think about this, and stuff like that. So we have another hat that she's good at. Picnic in the park. So I'll take this. And I haven't done the picnic in the park. I just know about it from everything she's done. But I thought that was a cute way to do it. water balloons. I know the kids do. They have a sack lunch with sandwich and stuff. They blow bubbles and all kinds of stuff. So that best, and they asked for prayers. So that covered that hat. And let's see. I got one. Let me see. There's one I'm looking for and I don't see it. This one. This one, we had a list of all the different kind of hats called Food and Supply Buyer. And I thought, how best can we do this? Well, we have a bag we buy all the stuff in, and we have all the receipts that we get from it. But, so I thought, she has bought supplies for Vacation Bible School. She's bought them for the, when we have the evergreen lunches, just any kind of meal that's here. She's lots of times buying it, and supplies for Sunday schools, and when we do the splash pad, she was buying. Lydia's a good shopper. Lydia's a good shopper. Okay, and that's one other one that was on the list. She's good at cleaning up. Whoops. Yeah, well, it's got to be done. Yeah, yeah. So she's got her rag, her paper towels, her sponge, and her soap. So, we all have to do. So, anyway. And there's one more here, but I'm going to let somebody that knows more about it. Is there anybody that knows it?
Hi, I'm Kathy Syke, and I think I was here before Lydia because I've been here 36 years, and both of our boys have had the privilege of having Lydia help them immensely, and I appreciate that for sure. I'm representing the Wesley class, and we decided Lydia needed a chauffeur's hat. And it does have some, I don't know, Dawn Martin here, she's the crafty person who helped with all of these things. There is a couple of signs. There's a Jack Daniel Distillery, the Callaway Gardens, let's see, the Biltmore, Lake Junaluska, the glass blowing up, and then the ark that was mentioned before. And then there's a couple of little things. One of them, it says Chauffeur Lydia on it, and let's ride, and always take the scenic route. And there is a little mirror here that's kind of cracked. Now, I've not had the privilege of going on any of Lydia's trips. However, I was at a beach house, and when the women from the church were coming down to join us, I had gone a couple of days ahead with a couple of their friends, and so Lydia and her crew from church here came down to join us for the weekend, and it was a lovely little beautiful community that had little street lamps along the side, and we said, oh, here comes Lydia. We see them turning in, and then we hear So here is a little side view mirror from the van, and it says, I drive the church van. What's your superpower? And the last thing that is represented here was mentioned earlier. I don't know if you can see, but there is a little flat tire. And it says, my driving scares me too. But Belinda was on that trip, and she can expound a little bit more on the flat tire.
Yeah, so that was my first adventure with Lydia. No more. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. 70 miles an hour down the road, and here we go, and there was a blowout with the tire. And there was this cop. You remember the cop that came? You want to say anything about the cop?
I was grateful to see him, and he was handsome. That's all I remember.
Yeah, all the women on the bus were like, what? Who's that? So, yeah, we got out. We calmly got out, assessed the situation, tried to figure out. We were in the middle of nowhere and trying to figure out how in the world we were going to get this flat tire fixed. Cop came, said he would call somebody. Well, about 10 calls later and a couple of hours and a lot of sweating. It was hot, hot, hot on that bus. And so we got the flat tire fixed by a man that, I bet it was 10 phone calls later to all these places and all these things. And this guy finally rolls up in this old pickup truck and he says, I can help you fix the tire. And we said, that would be great. And I think we tipped him and significantly, and because really there was no other place to get a flat tire fixed in the middle of nowhere. So I don't think you've had any more flat tires, have you? We have a spare, and that's why we got the driving. So we can remember how to be safe, and that Lydia's driving scares us too. I'm just kidding. So anyway, all right. So who else? Kathy.
So I'm representing the M&M Sunday School classroom, and all of us know Lydia in different ways. And so our hat has lots of different things. So we have Lydia's desk in miniature, Easter egg hunt, third grade Bible school. There's things from the nursery, picnic in the park sign. So it has a variety of different ways that all of us know Lydia. So that was fun. But he's doing something. Yeah, little fun. So one of our members is very handy, and the ministers may be jealous of this, but it's a kitchen scarf. So she's ready to wipe her hands. So thank you for all that you have done for us, and there it is.
I know. Hi, my name is Brandon Tuttle. I am the husband of Emma Tuttle, which most of you know. So one thing that has always brought me back here has been Lydia, right? I'm going to try and do this also without crying because Lydia we've known, actually I just did the math on this. You have actually known me longer than I have, like halfway longer than I've been in the Army, so it's like been really big for me. Okay, so where do I start? I don't have a hat for Lydia, but there's so many hats that she wears, obviously you can tell by this. But there's two things that like me and Lydia always go back and forth with, and that I've known her, or since I've known her from the beginning. And she has her serious hat, right? And she has her silly hat. And the way that like reflects upon me is anytime that me and Lydia have to do something, we always get to put both of these hats on regardless of what's going on. For both of my children's baptisms, we put on our serious hat, we go through the practice, we make sure everything is perfect, and at the exact same time I go, Lydia, can I shoot off a cannon in here, even though it's gonna make a serious mess? And she goes, we're gonna have to clean that up, and you're probably gonna have to help with it, but absolutely, we'll go get them right now. So we get to shoot off confetti cannons in here for both of my children's baptisms. But it was worth it, because it was so much fun. Anytime that we do anything, if we're at picnic in the park, if we're out there doing Easter egg hunts, something like that, or if I'm present, because a lot of you, if you don't know, I'm very rarely here, but when I am here, I'm welcome and always here. And that's thanks to Lydia. But anytime that we get into a moment where it is time to be serious, Lydia calls on me a lot to make sure that everything is okay, just based on the nature of my job and the way that I am. But Lydia puts a lot of trust in me whenever I'm around, but at the exact same time, if I ever need anything from her, anything that is serious, she always takes me serious, and I greatly appreciate that. The best thing that she's ever done for me is allowed me to marry her adopted daughter. If you guys don't understand, like Emma is Lydia's daughter to heart, there's no doubt on that, and I didn't realize how serious that was until how many Christmases and Easters have I spent at your house? But like a lot of people have to worry about going to meet the father of the bride. Like, nope, that was not what I had to worry about. I had to worry about meeting Lydia, which again, you've got the same person that has a very serious hat and a very silly hat, so you don't know how to go into this, and I'm a very big joker. But when I went in there, and I immediately was brought into her home as family, and that's really big to me. I travel all around the world all the time. I get to meet a whole bunch of different people, but there's very few places that I feel home, and that is at the house that I grew up in, is the church that I live in, and that is Lydia's home. So Lydia, thank you from the bottom of my heart, and for taking care of me and my family. Thank you.
Are there any more stories? Any more hats? Lydia and the mama bags, which is not represented, but Judy Drennan has your Easter egg hat. She said to please put this on you. So I'm going to put this on you. It's heavy. Yeah. Is it kind of heavy? Somebody please get that picture. She is extra special. We could just let you leave it up. That's from Judy. Okay. I know it. I know. We lost another one. Yes, Dennis, yes.
I didn't prepare a hat. I didn't get that memo. But one of the things that I've not heard about is I worked here from 2015 to 2021. And we went through a lot of changes as a church, a lot of changes. And in a lot of churches going through changes like that, there can be a lot of difficulties among staff. And one of the things that I really appreciate about you, Lydia, is your calmness, that's been mentioned before, your servant heart, and your ministry among the staff that just really helped us all get along together and to continue to love and to serve. And you've been a big part of that, and I really appreciate that. So thank you.
And we appreciate Dennis coming to the service today and doing special music for Lydia and for us. Are there any other stories? Because I'm going to, well, come on up. And then, is there anybody else on deck?
I just snuck in. I'm Susan Terry. I used to go to Aldersgate many, many years ago. I was on staff at Latham as children's director, and Lydia and I met because of that. And our other good friend, Jana Williams at Weatherly Heights. And we commiserated a lot about the liturgical year, especially Holy Week, that we named something else. And it was just so nice to be able to talk to somebody and know that they also knew what you were going through, and we could commiserate together and figure out problems together, and it was just wonderful, and I thank you for that.
Thank you for making your guest appearance. Are there any others? Any others? Going once? Going twice? Okay. Will, come on. I was wondering if you were going to come.
I think you can just say we both need to keep it together, to be honest. So for those of you who didn't know me before an hour ago, my name is Will Locke. When I say some of you have literally seen me grow up in this church, there is no joke that Emma held me as a 1-year-old. I'm 26 now. She can't hold me as well. I'm a little bigger. But when I think about my mom's 25 years here at this church, I think there's 7 senior pastors, 5 or so associates, so many staff members to count, right? And you have been the constant. And I also thank you for the fact that you allowed this church to be our family. Because when I look around this room, there are men who have helped me be the man I am today because you allowed them into my life. And I'm so thankful that you have shown me what faithfulness in ministry looks like. No, right? Like, the ability to, like one of my funniest stories. So for those of you who don't know, the summer after my freshman year of college, so that would have been 2017, I interned as a youth and children's person. And at that time, Emma was on staff for a little bit, and Tim was just coming on staff. And some of you may also know Becca Wiggs, and we were transitioning, so we were putting Tim's name onto all of our documents, all of our platforms, all of our things. And we were using an email server called MailChimp to contact parents. And in the process of shifting from Emma to Tim accidentally deleted all of our contacts for like 100+ people. And Becca Wiggs comes into my mom's office the next morning. Her eyes get really big, and my mom is like, "What's up?" And she says, "Tim has accidentally deleted all of our contact information." And my mom says, "Oh, blank." And Becca's eyes get really wide because my mom would never say such a thing. And my mom was like, "Well, it was one of those moments." And she was like, "Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am." And so, but it was just this beautiful thing of like, ministry is hard and yet it's worth it. And as much as that was funny, and Becca then built this beautiful spreadsheet that she spent hours and hours on, it was just this reminder that ministry is hard, but it's worth it. And I think this room is a testament to the fact that 25 years is worth it. I'm the person I am today because of you, because of this church. And I just want to say thank you for exposing me to people who will champion my gifts. The first sermon I preached was in that room down the hall. And I think about how we would go through things, and it was this church family that rallied around us. And like people have shared, when you need to step up for people, it was not, "Oh, this is hard. Oh, I don't want to do it." It was instinct for you. Just step up for people in hard times. It was like, this is who I am. This is what we do as a family. And I'm so grateful for that. So grateful for the fact that you love this church with all of your heart, and you also love your family. You get in sideline Rob, you get in sideline me, you get in sideline now your parents who need a lot of help to be here. You've modeled both really well, and as somebody who's just starting out in ministry, I really thank you for that. And I'm so glad to call you. I'm so glad to call you my mom, and so thankful for you.
Okay, who wants to follow that? Anybody? Okay, well, I'm going to do one of mine, and I think I'll kind of finish it up for a couple things. But Lydia, I'm not crafty, but I'm creative. Just going to preface that. So there is a upside-down blue bowl here with lots of utensils hanging off, and I was going to make you put the bowl over your head, but let me tell you the reason I picked the bowl is because I will say to Lydia, who is the queen of cuisine, I would say, "Lydia, this meal looks great." And she said, "It's wonderful. You just open a bag and pour it in a bowl." She bowls us over with her cuisine, right? Okay, so I've learned a lot from you, and she's constantly giving me recipes, which I'm not going to tell you sometimes don't taste as good as yours, but that's okay. I try. So a couple other things. Let's see. We got everything covered, I think. Up here, got one more. This is your Meals on Wheels hat, which is beautiful. We commissioned a jeweled journey to a gift for you from the congregation. And if y'all don't know, Susan Black is on her trip out west, but here in spirit, and she has given, or we commissioned her to do a jewel journey picture of the symbols of faith for Lydia. And we'll leave this up here so y'all can see that. And you can, here, you want me to put it up there? Yeah, all right. We'll put it right up here in front of these Easter eggs. It's all about Christ. Does that work? Okay. Then, to wrap it up, Lydia, all these roles you've played, you've worn all these hats. And so that you can keep them together, and as a constant reminder, we have another little gift. And Sky helped us design this. So you need to pull it out, look at it. We'll see your reaction. Sky grew up in the church. She's Penny and John Smith's daughter, if you don't know. We had to pick a bright color.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna leave this up here for everybody to come see. It has all my different roles, not job titles, but roles. So, oh, that's great. Thanks, Penny. Be sure and thank Sky for me. That is beautiful. And the fact that Sky made it makes it extra special. So.
It has a hand and a heart on it with all the roles that she plays. So, Martin, where's Martin? I saw you. Yeah, come on up. Well, thank you for being colleague and friend, Lydia. You.
And I think I get to close this. Just to wrap up, I appreciate everybody coming out. There aren't a lot of days exactly like this in a mobile society like we live in, and Aldersgate certainly either got blessed or got lucky to have Lydia here. A ton of folks made this happen. Belinda for coordinating, Dennis for the special music, Brenda Rutland and Andy Rutland and a family of people that helped them. Gary and Jan Jeter for the beautiful table decorations. Ellen for the slideshow, which was great. I love seeing those pictures. Mark Larson and Matt McCollum for the sound. All the hat designers, these are great hats. Let's see, and Sky's T-shirt, and who else? And Susan Black's Jewel Journey. Black. I'm gonna have to get a closer look at that. Is there anything else you can think of?
If we left anybody out, we didn't mean to. We have to thank everybody for your participation in the setup and the takedown crew. And you know what? You get to be part of the takedown crew.
That's the good news. So I guess we close it out. Benediction?
Hand it back to her.
I'll take that challenge. If you would bow your heads. Lord, thank you for the day. Thank you for Lydia and 25 years dedicated to your service. And her service has indeed honored you and at the same time blessed us and served an example to us to be joyful in serving. In your name, amen.